Hi there, this is Amanda Frankel with Our Crafty Playdate, and I'm here to make the last card in this set of Christmas cards from our Christmas Club. So we have had videos post, we've already posted them here, we being me, of these two cards in the kit. If you have taken the class, this is just a reminder on how to make things so you can make it at home additionally. But if you would like to order the kit, it comes with all the materials you need for 4 each of all 3 cards, so you'll get 12 cards. It does not have stamped images, so if it's a stamp, you would not receive the stamped images. You will receive white paper, and I've given pointers on what to do with some of these. But I've also listed all of the stamps and the dies that I've used in the description so that you can find those on your own. Today we're going to be making this one. I love this card, and I'm going to show you a couple different features that I really like. So this is a top fold card, and so we are going to use an 8.5 by 11. Instead of cutting it this way like we normally would for a side fold card, we cut it long ways, lengthwise, and then it becomes a top fold card. And the coolest thing, you're gonna die. Well, you're probably not gonna die, but you're really gonna love it. How about that? Okay, so I am going to go ahead and get this party started. So this panel right here that I've got, this is a particularly cool thing. It's here. It's in the new holiday catalog, and it is the Merriest Moments bundle. So it comes with the stamps, and that's everything we use here, and a bunch of dies that we use. So it's just this one bundle used in this card. And this is the thing. This is the Merriest Frames Hybrid Embossing Folder. It is part of the bundle. So normally a bundle for us just contains the stamps and the dies. But because this is a hybrid embossing folder, it embosses and cuts, so it's dies. So this bundle includes the stamps, the hybrid folder, and the dies. So all of this happens with one bundle. Okay, so I'm going to keep this here so that I can kind of refer back to it here for a second. This is, pulling everybody out of control here. This is what I'm talking about here. This is the hybrid embossing folder. Oh, got a little paper in there. All right, so, excuse me there. So this is the embossing folder, and if you just emboss with it, it's gorgeous. If you just emboss with it, it looks like this. Okay, that is a beautiful embossed piece. Stamp in here, done. It's a pretty easy thing. If you want to make it more detail, with the Stampin' Up! Logo facing you, you open it up, and on the top here, there is a ridge. Hard to see, but you're going to put your die on it and slide it around, and did you just see that? So if I take it off here again, you can almost hear it snap right into place. Once it's here, you can put a panel of paper in there and close it up and run it through the embossing folder just like you did before, and you are going to get this. Now it's going to cut out that panel and emboss it at the same time, which is particularly stunning, right? That's a great card. In my class we did 4 of these, but we did 2 just like my sample, and then we did one that was this, with this being white. I'm just doing it in a color so you can see it more clearly. But this was white, and we did that. And the second phase of this, okay, so we've already done one like this, which is with this embossing folder. Now we can put this aside and bring out the next die. This is another die that fits right over. Okay, so this is what we cut out before, right? And we take that out, and I just put that piece that came out, this piece, I just put that right in there like that, okay? And you run it through again, and this is the piece that comes out. So it's even more detailed than your last piece. So all of these 3 different looks can come from one embossing folder. So in my class and in my kit, you get 2 panels like this, one like this, and one like this that you can use. They're white, of course, not green, but to make the same card, only a little bit modified so you can see all the different uses. All right, so now you know how to use that. It's this set here. It's on page 43. You're seriously going to love it. If you don't have one of these catalogs, by the way, just send me a note in the comments below, or you can email me. My email will be in the comments or in the description also. And you can email me and I'll send you one. Okay, let's get started. So we have already made our top panel. Now, if I were to put this panel into the embossing folder, let's say I just do this all the way. I want to make sure that it's centered and I run it through. That is perfectly beautiful, right? It's going to emboss the front panel like this. But what it's also going to do is it's going to deboss, so dent in the inside. And I like a very finished card. So here's the panel. If I had run my card through and it was this, it would look like this on the inside of my card. And I don't want it to. I want it to be smooth. So what I did was I just cut a panel exactly the same size as my card front. So instead of making it a normal card panel that would be a 1/4 inch smaller, it's exactly the same as my card front. So it is going to be 5.5 by 4 1/4. Okay. And I embossed that already. So let's just go ahead and glue that baby down. I'm going to use liquid glue because one, I always do, but also, if I can get it to come, but also because when you're doing something that gets heavy, it's good to have a little more, something that's a little stronger. And the liquid glue is very strong. Okay, so liquid glue, beauty of it also, it gives me a chance to wiggle it around and make sure that I've got it all lined up perfectly. And then it's done. So there is the front. And now I need to make these other parts. So the dies that I'm using, oh, that's one that I didn't love. Where's one that I did love? It's blank. Let me get one. Oh, here it is. Okay, so this is a die that is included in that set also. So when you see our stamp sets like this, if it is kind of taupe colored like this, that means there is a die that corresponds in the set. So for example, these holly leaves, they're outlined, so there is a die that corresponds to it in this set. These, you can see they're not, so there's no specific die, but it fits in there. So, all right, so we've cut this out already, and I am going to stamp using Cherry Cobbler ink. I love this color red. It's just so saturated and beautiful. All right, and I'm going to use my noodle also and put one of these underneath. So this is the Stampin' Pierce pad, I believe it's called. And I want to stamp toward the top. So the reason that I would use this pad under there is I am using a photopolymer stamp, which has no extra padding like a red rubber stamp would. And so I want to add the extra padding, and so I can use it underneath. Okay. And now we need to do these flowers and these fern figgy pine boughs. So normally what I would do is I would get a piece of white paper and I would stamp each individual one, and then I would line up my die very carefully and I'd run them through my Big Shot. Not my Big Shot, my Stamp and Emboss machine. But very often when I do that, I get it lined up, I stamp it, I get it lined up perfectly, I take it over there, I put it down, I run it through, and it has shifted because I moved it in the transit. And now I don't have a perfectly aligned thing. So I'm going to show you using the Stamparatus. We've done this so many times before, but it always bears repeating. I have made a template. So this yellow piece, when I'm done with it, I'm just going to take it off and stick it right in my stamp case and keep it so that next time I need it, I will have it. But I have set up my Stamparatus. So I just cut with the dies, I cut these items out that I'm going to need. And then I just take my stamps and I lay them in here like a puzzle, perfectly matched. And then I just close the lid and touch it, and it picks up the stamps onto this top pad. Okay, so it's already set up for me so that I can do this. And what that affords me by doing it this way is I can just go over to my Stamp and Emboss machine while I'm watching TV and just cut a whole bunch of these out in white. These are the pieces, let me see, these 4 pieces are the pieces that I'm going to need today. So I could just cut all of them out in white 100 times. All right. And then I could just bring them back and stamp all together one at a time. So this is how this is going to be so easy, and the beauty of the Stamparatus. So now I just have to put this in like a puzzle, exactly how it fits. It doesn't slide around because it just went in right like a jigsaw puzzle. And now this one, is this it? Yep. Got it on the first try. Sometimes you have to rotate it around a little bit when it's a flower and the petals are a different shape, but it's not that big a deal. All right, and then I'm going to ink my my stamps on my Stamparatus. It doesn't matter that I got a bunch of ink over there. It's not going to affect it at all. I'm going to make sure this is pushed all the way up into the corner, and then I'm going to close it. Give it some pressure. Let's see how we did. Sometimes they, there you go. Sometimes they stick to the Stamparatus, and sometimes they stick to the item. So you see how I did that? I just stuck that paper in there. Okay, so I've got my 2 flowers. They're a little blotchy, but that's actually going to be pretty. It's going to look a little mottled. And now I can pull this out and take it off, and I can grab my other plate, because your Stamparatus now, when you order it, it comes with 2 different plates. My other plate is here. So it comes with 2 plates. So you could do this all day. So it actually could put, you could put stamps on either side. So you could actually have 4 different sides of cards going at the same time if you're using different colored inks. The reason that I didn't put them all on one side is because inking it would have been a big mess. And so this works a lot better. So sorry about that. I don't know what just happened there. All right. I'm going to use Garden Green. I'm going to lift this up. Sorry about that little volume burst there. I try to put everything on silent, but you know what? I live in a family, so we're never all silent. Okay, so you can see how that's inked there. Oh, I forgot to put my leaves in. They'd be perfect right in there. All right, so here is one. And when I say leaves, I really mean pine boughs. I don't know, it's fall and I'm thinking pine boughs. I'm thinking leaves, not pine boughs. Okay, so I'm going to put some pressure on there. Now, if I opened this and they were not stamped well, if I didn't get a good image, which I got a great image, so I don't have to worry about that. Okay, I'm just going to move this. Now, you can see if I wanted to make more, I would just put the next batch of white ones in, close it, and keep going. But I only need 1 set today for the video. Okay, so let's go ahead. And this is popped up in on my sample here. Oh, those are little baby ones. So I use 2 different sizes of Stampin' Dimensionals all the time. Here's what I'm going to do. This is kind of a trick. So I'm putting them on the top and the middle, but I'm not going to put them on the bottom because I'm going to put one in the middle on the bottom, but I'm not going to put them on the side. Okay. The reason is these are also going to be popped up, so I want to give myself some leeway that they could get mushed down a little bit and then pop back up in the mail. So let's keep going here. I'm going to now put a mini, I just had them here, mini dimensional right here on my big flower. And then I can stack my flowers. I'm just going to rotate it a little bit. You know why this is a little mottled? Because I had just cleaned that off again, and so it had some stuff on it. It had some of my stamp cleaner on there. So that's why that happened. I'm going to use these little mini gold gems. They come in a pack, half silver, half gold, and I love them. I use them all the time for flower centers, but they're really pretty on Christmas trees also. And I just need to put a little series of 3. Ooh, 1 more. Good. Okay. And now I need to add my pine stuff. So to do this, all I'm going to do is put a little bit of glue on each of the stems. Like that. So each stem has it. And I'm going to set them down here. I'm going to pick up my flower. I'm going to put this, I want it to be kind of almost like an L to kind of line up there. Not perfectly L, like a wide L, like maybe that. And I'm going to hold it for a second. Good. And now I'm going to stick this on here. And I don't want it to be too tall. So I'm going to put 1 mini dimensional under this bow. And I think that might be it. I think that will do it. And then I'm going to put some glue at the top of my flower. So see how I did that? The reason that I'm doing it this way is now the glue will hold it onto there and the pine bough will keep it elevated. So there you go. That is this card. And if you order the kit, you will get all the things that you need to make this. Your stamped images will be white. So you would add your own stamp here unless you order this bundle. These would be white, but that's okay. They're shaped like they should be. All you have to do is put ink on them. So you could just ink all red and it would be gorgeous. So you are all set. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator of your own, I would love to be yours. You can find all of the items that I used to make these cards, this card particularly, in the comments below. And this kit is actually the August kit. So when you look, it's the August kit that you're interested in. And you're all set. Thank you so much for stopping by. Have a great day. Bye-bye.